Hey guys, this is Kurt with KH Model Works. On today's episode, I'm going to talk about my entry for the Clone-A-Toy group build. So let's get to it. Here we are at the workbench. So I'm going to build a G.I. Joe Sky Striker. The G.I. Joe Sky Striker is obviously based on the F-14 Tomcat, and I just happen to have a F-14 Tomcat model kit I can use for this group build. So every toy has a story, right? So like it's not just a toy. Like part of growing up with it was story about it and like how you got it and how much you loved and played with it. What I remember the most about getting my Sky Striker was we were at a store, the store Best. I don't know if you remember that store. I can go into it another time. But it had a toy department that was just amazing. And for whatever reason, my brother had the money to go buy a G.I. Joe Sky Striker. So we went there, and he was all smiles. And he walked away with this, and then went with my mom to pay for it. And then I guess I was overcome by jealousy or something, and I just broke down and crying because I wanted a G.I. Joe Sky Striker also, but I was like $2 short or something like that. So I was crying. So I was like 7 or 8 at the time. So this was really like not cool. And the only thing I remember is my dad trying to calm me down. And he finally, I guess he got so exasperated, he's like, look, I'll loan you $1, okay? So he loaned me what I needed to get the Sky Striker. And I had my Sky Striker also. And then, the next time I got a card in the mail, because that's like when I was a kid, the only way I had any money, it was basically around Christmas or my birthday when my grandparents and aunts and uncles would send a card and there'd be like a $10 bill inside. And yeah, so I got a card like that. I was like all smiles, and then they're like, My parents like, no, no, no. You remember you owe us $2. So then I was just all mad again because I only had $8 instead of 10. Yeah, what a brat, an ungrateful brat I must have been. So the to make a Sky Striker out of an F-14, there's a couple of routes you could go. One idea would be to make, like, if you were to imagine G.I. Joe was real and use the comic books as reference. Because the comic books, pretty intense, and if you read this, I read most of the comics, the original comics, and some of the things just really seemed feasible, right? So you could imagine a real special forces group, an elite group like G.I. Joe, might have F-14s that were just a little bit different. I was more familiar with the TV show, and the TV show was a cartoon. And Sky Strikers would get shot down like every time they went out, so these Sky Strikers would last like one mission. Uh, you know, but to clone the toy, if you look at the toy on the top, there is this lever to move the wings back and forth, and that also, if you move the wing forward, if you move the lever forward, made the wings come forward, and made the landing gear go down. And then the weapons load is also to make it look like the toy. Would have to be changed a little bit because if you look at the box art here, the you've got a Sparrow missile on a pylon, a Sidewinder on the same pylon, and then the Phoenix missiles are on pallets underneath the fuselage. But on the toy, here's another picture of it. There would be a Phoenix missile under here where the Sparrows are. Sidewinders would be under the forward fuselage, and then I think the Sparrows were back here, and the Sidewinders were up front. And then in the middle, there was a fuel tank, and the fuel tank also served as a handle. This is a well thought out toy. So I think that's what I'm going to try to do is try to fabricate the lever for the wings, and then I'll use the real missiles, but I'll paint them black because they were painted black on the real toy. On the toy, yeah. And then to make it a clone of the toy, I'm going to try to make the lever for the wings. So that's my goal. And then I'll have to go and find a fuel tank either in the kit or in a Phantom kit to replicate the handle on the toy. So here's the kit. Everybody, this is a well-known kit. Even if you only build cars, you've probably had one of these kits eventually at some point. Even if you never build airplanes. So last night I was primering parts for my triple Mustang meltdown build, And I had a little bit of primer left, so I primered the cockpit, which is usually the first part in building a airplane model. And you know, this is a typical 70s, early 80s monogram kit. And yeah, so here's the upper fuselage. I imagine making sort of a styrene box and then a black lever. I can't figure out how I would make it actually operate the wings, but it would be decorative. The other challenge is going to be with the decals, and I'm working on that as well on the computer. It's a little bit more challenging. It's no, it's challenging, and it's just as hard as I thought, and hopefully I'll be able to pull it off. If not, I'll figure out something. Anyway, that's all I got, and my entry in the build a clone a toy group build has started. So I'll see you next time with some progress. Take care, everybody.